Hello and welcome to another broadcast of Conversations with Marlon, the guitar player by the corner. I'm your host, Marlon Bankston. My guest today is a fantastic tribute band, Material Girl and the Fame Monster. And before we get started, I'd like to go around the horn and introduce themselves.
I'm Sarah Tafoya.
I'm Sean Lothamer.
Tyson Jones.
Okay. In the interest of full disclosure, I want the viewer to know that I play with this group, these two tribute acts, and have been with them for a number of years. And so this interview is going to be more like conversational between band members, in which we talk about a lot of things and we share with the viewer how things are going with us and what we've done and that. You know, here's what's on the internet on a couple of things. Palace Theater in the Dales. I don't even remember where that was. Some of these places, I'm sure we don't even remember where they're at, but it says, backed by a full live band, the experience is nothing short of incredible. All the greatest hits from the early 80s dance to her latest electronics. Material Girl, Casey Pride Fest favors, captures the elegance and essence of a Madonna and Lady Gaga concert. The live band will get the dance party going for the evening. What does that make you, how do you feel when you hear those descriptions? Anyone, jump in.
I feel pretty proud of that.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Did we write that?
Yeah.
Maybe one of them, but the other one, the Palace in the Dales, I think they wrote that. I think they came up with that one.
Yeah, I think it was cool because that was our first venture into like a big theater like that. So
yeah, dinner theater.
Yeah.
Remember Marlon had the like apartment stage, had
Right.
the door, the stairs, and then I picked up the telephone. And then I bought
That
one.
was a different kind of stage setting for us,
Yeah.
because we were performing on a theater stage that was set up for a theater.
Yeah.
And I think, and I will send to the producer a photograph of that so she can show the viewers, so the viewers know what we're talking about. But let's go to the history of each individual. Let's go there first and see what was the journey, share the journey that led us up to all of us meeting, and then where we go from there. So anyone jump in and let's talk about your background.
Well, I probably need to start because I'm the one that kind of started the whole idea. Back in 2013, my friend Todd Yarrow had come to me. I'd been working on building a recording studio and been doing that for a while. And Todd had come to me with the idea of doing an excess tribute band. And I hadn't played drums in a band for a few years, and I thought it'd be kind of fun. Asked them to get it together. They came down to my studio, and there was just two of them. And I said, there's no way we can pull off an NXS tribute band with three guys. And so I jokingly said, as we were leaving, I'm going to start a Madonna tribute band. And next day I put up an ad on Craigslist, and that's how we met Sarah.
Yeah, I'll try to make my history before the band short, but I really started out as like a karaoke singer and didn't really know how to get beyond that. You know, I knew I had talent and I loved to be on stage, and I've been told, hey, you should try out for band or something, so I finally did, and well, actually, I got a vocal coach first. Not that I felt like I needed one, but someone approached me and said he could also help me to get started performing, which he did a couple times. And but then I found an '80s band called Retroactive. Actually, when I was married, my ex found a ad that they were looking for a singer. We looked at the website. It was like all the '80s songs that I always sang in karaoke. So I knew I could do it. The first time I tried out, though, I didn't make it. But 6 months later, he called me back because the other girl didn't work out. So I accepted, and I played in that band for quite a while. Well, for a few years. got kind of burnt out with the 80s and went on to do another band called the Naughty Band. And we did a lot of more current music. And that was when I started doing Lady Gaga music. We didn't do as much 80s. So, and I was told I sounded a lot like Lady Gaga, of course. And before that, I've been told I sound just like Madonna as well. And so I kind of went back and forth. I was doing the Naughty Band. That wasn't quite working. So I went back to Retroactive. I kind of filled in for them. Then I kind of went back to them permanently, but I wasn't happy still. And I was ready to get out of there again. And I hadn't been on Craigslist in forever. And I just happened to think, oh, well, let's see what's out there, you know. And I looked on there and there was a Madonna tribute. And I just was like, that's it. So I called Sean, and he wasn't all that excited when I first called.
Yeah.
I don't think he believed me.
I haven't heard that part yet.
My past experience with female singers was not good.
Yeah.
So she ended up coming down and auditioning. We told her she had to come down and audition, and threw up a couple songs for her to do. And our jaws kind of hit the floor because we couldn't believe how much she sounded like Madonna. That got us off and running, and then that brings us to Tyson, who I'd been playing with for years, and he kept moving out of state though, and so he would be in a band, he'd move, he'd come back, be in a band, he'd move, and then this time he was back for good. So
there's some caveats in there.
Yeah, a few caveats. Yeah, so I called him up, and I actually was going to get him to do some production, like video stuff, and then he said, "Well, you think you need some bass?" I'm like, "Yeah, why don't you learn a few of them?" And so he came to a practice and brought his bass with him, and I'm like, "Yeah, we definitely need some bass." So I'll let him talk about that.
I don't remember that last part. That kind of escapes me, but yeah. Well, I mean, Sean and I have been, drum and bass for a long time, so I kind of just naturally. I mean, we kind of naturally just fit in and jive together. At first when I heard the Madonna idea, though, I always say this, though, I was kind of reluctant. I wasn't too sure about it, but Sarah's voice really changed my mind and gave me some inspiration to do so. And I mean, the rest is we do have some history here.
Yeah, and then the three of us practiced with Todd for about 6 or 8 months, very frustratingly, while Todd wasn't learning the parts and we were all ready to go. And so Marlon was in the same building as my studio space. He was down the hall, and I happened to see him one night walking down the hall, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, do you like Madonna at all?" And he said, "Yeah, I like Madonna." And so I said, "Would you mind coming down and checking out something for me?" And so he came down to the room and kind of listened to what we were doing, and then I think he was digging it. So then a few weeks later, he came into practice, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it's history. Yeah, the rest is history.
We finally were able to go play.
Yeah, when I struck that first note, I was fired, and then I was brought back 3 weeks later because I didn't hit it right. No,
absolutely
actually,
did not happen.
I always thought Madonna. I liked early Madonna, and I liked some of the funk sounds that were, produced on a lot of her tracks. Steve Bray and I can't remember my guy from Chic, his name right quick, but having some involvement. Boy, and I just committed a mortal sin by not having now Roger's name on the end of my tongue. But it was not a hard sell at all. Like Sean and I were neighbors. We both ran rehearsal spaces. I ran a bunch of bands in and out of my rehearsal space. I've been running bands for years and playing in different groups and all that. So when I met Sean and I heard what they had going, then I was pretty much sold on it. And then the kicker is that Sarah favored, when Sarah dresses up in character, she favors Madonna and she favors Lady Gaga, and then she sounds like them. And I'm going, whoa, that's deep. Yeah. And then when she sings, she actually can hit the notes, because there's nothing more sinful in this world than having a tribute band where the lead singer can't sing.
Yeah.
That's a no-no. So Sarah met all that. The chemistry among us. I think it would be safe to say, if you two guys tell me if you disagree with me, but I think that is a huge part of having a successful band, is that you actually genuinely like one another and that you genuinely get along with each other.
Well,
And I think you realize right away. Sorry, I think you just know when it's going to work. Even it's like almost unspoken, and it
we
just
definitely
fell
have
in.
chemistry.
Yeah,
It was going to work.
Bands where, like Retroactive, where they changed members all the time, and sometimes we'd have a real good group that had some good chemistry, but then when you change that, it breaks that. I mean,
It's gel factor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wearing dark glasses because I got used to Sarah punching me in this eye right here when I missed a key or something, or when I screwed up, or I didn't hit the right harmony for a note, and some things you just kind of.
We should tell our audience that's why we all wear glasses.
That's right.
That's all the black eyes.
That's right. We all wear dark glasses.
A while, so we're okay right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Usually I point the finger.
Yeah, she definitely does the finger. Yeah.
So let's talk about let's talk about the journey. Okay, so we got together, and let's talk about some of the beginnings of the gigs that were interesting to how we started traveling.
Okay,
Sean,
so
you want to get in there?
I'll take this one because I kind of by default had to do the booking, and because I had kind of told everybody, hey, I'm going to get us some really good gigs, and having never done that, I was kind of scared, and I sent out about 100 emails to all these different casinos, and finally, a guy named Rich Bentler got back with me, and he calls me, and he said, yeah, I'm interested, and he started talking price with me and everything, and it was sounding really good, and I said, okay, and then he says, well, what other groups do you do? And being that we were Madonna tribute, I was like kind of stumped, and I was like, I just threw out, well, we can do Lady Gaga because I'd heard Sarah talk about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, well, that sounds good. And so we booked the first show, and I think we had about 2 months to learn a whole Lady Gaga set because we hadn't even talked about doing Lady Gaga. I just came back to practice and said, hey, by the way, we have to do Lady Gaga as well. So that was our first show.
If you remember, there weren't a lot of people at that first show. Are you talking about the art show in the art district?
That was really our first show. Yeah, that was
local.
Yeah, that was the first local try. I guess you could say it was supposed to be a combination of band and a fashion show that didn't really come together. That was kind of a flop. But our first actual gig as just a band was the casino up in Riverside, Iowa. So.
Okay, so historically, we're not going to, for the Material Girl Museum, we're not going to count that first one.
Yeah.
Well, no, we didn't get paid for that one.
I was looking at our schedule though, and the very first show was art show, but following that was Kauffman Stadium, at least by the way the tour list reads.
Oh yeah, I guess it was. Yeah. Which we also didn't get paid for. We got some baseball tickets out of that one. So.
We got some tickets. Well, my memory of that, I don't know if that's the first Kaufman gig we played, but I remember the one where we were on a metal stage. Yeah. It was 160 degrees outside. No air, nothing blowing.
Yeah, Sarah was white as a ghost because she was about to faint.
Yeah,
so,
if you guys remember right, though, that was show number 1 of 2 that in the same day.
Yes,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We had to park in a lot at Kauffman Stadium, and then I guess roll your own equipment down there. Sarah had a fan, but it seemed like that fan was blowing hot air. So it was it's like having a fan on the sun and then having it blow in your face.
Yeah. And I was wearing black boots, and oh my god! And I had black on. I was just burning up. When we did the Topeka gig, the sun had gone down. We had a chance to rest in the car on the way, so I felt a lot better for that one. It was even though it was humid, it was a lot cooler. And it wasn't the
Yeah,
sun
so
beating up.
when
Oh, yeah.
when Sarah was dancing with the black boots on stage, you could see smoke coming out through the boots
I wouldn't doubt it.
Exactly.
because her feet was on fire, you know,
Yeah.
with the black. Hey Sarah, but I remember it was been so hot. They put water on the side of the stage for us, but it was in the sun, so
Right.
it was
Yeah.
hot
It was
water.
hot.
It
Yeah.
melted.
It wasn't even cold water. Yeah.
And I remember actually passing out, and I went, this guy that was running the hot dog stand could see that I was like, wow, dizzy or whatever. And I laid behind the hot dog stand in the shade between sets to try to get out of the sun because it was so hot. And my cousin who was with
Yeah.
us, I think she passed out. Somebody came out and said she had passed out in the women's bathroom
Wow.
on the floor. I'm hoping her head didn't hit the toilet, but I think that she...
I know, I almost passed out. I had to stop and catch my breath and take a little break because I was just like, I felt lightheaded, and I knew we had another show that we were getting paid for, so I wanted to be careful.
Yeah.
So Sean was testing. I believe Sean. I want to think that Sean was testing our ability to rise above the elements.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like we
that's
said,
it.
Sarah, we
That's
had two
stamina.
shows. We left that one, and then we ran to Topeka or somewhere, and we had another show that night. And
I think we got a
wow.
stripe that day for sure.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
So what else? You guys have any other memories of, like, what about some of the really good gigs that we've done? Anybody got any memories they want to throw out there for that?
Man, memory
You know, a
wise.
lot of them run together for me.
Well, I think it's funny that we played Iowa so many times that people think we're an Iowa band.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have such a
Yeah.
following up there in Iowa. Yeah.
Well, I was taking notes off that show list I was telling you about, and we totaled 80 shows. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
I'm counting the times that we played twice in a weekend, but we played 8 states, 5 Kansas City Pride Fest, and we played some reputable Kansas City places: Uptown Theater, Harrah's Voodoo Lounge, and Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah.
So it's some pretty good markers there.
Yeah. And some of the bad gigs that should have been good gigs were Baxter Arena in Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
Was an amazing venue, but the worst sound we've ever had.
Well, yeah. That was amazing. Us
We
playing in an
really-
arena, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was hard. That was kind of hard.
For the sound, though, that we didn't have,
Yeah.
we did a great job for keeping up with it because
Another stripe.
Yeah.
That's why we went to in-ears after that, because we
Yeah.
were like, if we ever have that problem, at least we've got our ears to back us up to hear something.
Learn as we
Yeah.
go.
Well, here's a lesson for bands on the road. Remember when we had, in the beginning, we had dancers that went with us to this one gig, and then the dancers got fired from up under us. Does anybody want to talk? Sean, you want to talk about what happened there? You want to explain what happened?
I guess I can, yeah. Okay, so the first time we tried dancers, we got about halfway through the set, and the guy that booked us thought they were too risque, and so he said, you need to lose the dancers, so we did. And then we tried to use them again here in town at Voodoo Lounge, and the one girl was too young to get in there, and so they were fighting with the management, and they got kicked out before they could even perform. And then third time, we tried dancers 3 times, I think, early on, and it never went anywhere until recently. Last year at Pride, we found Ryan Estep, who's not with us on here, but he runs a group called Men of Skin, and we've gotten in touch with them through the promoters there, and they said, hey, you might talk to these guys. And he's been pretty amazing as far as what he's working on for us, so that'll be coming up.
Yeah, I feel like, because I feel like I did a lot of work with all the sets of dancers we had that didn't work, and now I can take that and use it with what Ryan's doing. And Ryan has been just exactly what I've pictured in my head that we do. You know, he's been spot on, and it's been a lot of fun again. So.
Yeah, and he's consistent. I think that's what really helps. He's just consistently pulling through for us. Yeah.
He's just as passionate as we are about this, and that's what we need. You know, someone who, because before with the other girls and stuff, well, except for the 2 that kept getting picked out and stuff, they actually did a good job because and I didn't do any of it with them. I just stood there and they did their thing. But they looked really good and they were in sync.
Yeah.
But before, I'd work with girls, then I had to teach them. And I'm like, I'm not the dancer here. They should be helping me. But I thought, well, I'm the one with the vision. So, but now we have Ryan who's got the same vision. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me say, this is what I got from that Iowa thing when the dancers, the thing that got to me is that, number one, you have to have the right act to get on the road. It has to be the right one. And then many times it looked like when the guy that booked us, I think there was something about the crowd or somebody was complaining about the risqueness of it or whatever. It looked fine by us, right. But sometimes you gotta be able to satisfy the promoters or the people that are booking you, and you have to be conscious of where you're playing and the audience that you're playing to. Because I remember another detail of that was that we were told that the dancers are welcome, their meals are paid or whatever, and they're welcome to sit in the audience and dance with the audience or whatever, but they just can't do it on stage with us. Yeah. And we were moved from a headlining position to a secondary position is what I remember. I guess as punishment for that or something. And we had to reprove ourselves. So as a collective, the four of us, remember we had to come together. We had to redo a set list or something, or reorder the set list.
Well, he also wanted variety, so we added that.
Yeah, we wanted variety. That's right. So we had to come together. Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Well, I was going to say, that's kind of been early on. I think we kept having to adapt to where we were playing and each different audience we played to, because we play for like an older crowd, then we played to a younger crowd, then they wanted variety, then they wanted the tribute. So I think in the last year and a half, we've just said, hey, we're just a tribute band. And so
and it's been more popular too, I think, we do that's what we do a great job doing is the tribute. And I think that more and more people want that now.
Yeah, but we have the ability to adapt. If somebody calls out, we want you to do some dance cover stuff, we can throw that out there too. We can do that. But I guess the point I'm getting to is that the strength of the collective that are among us, how we can pull together and problem solve and get the job done. Our work ethic and our commitment to putting on a good show stands pretty high. A lot of bands are not blessed with members that all think age and go on with the, who can recover and they all work together as a team. That's my thought. Now y'all might say you're crazy. We're not working as a team. I don't. But that's how I feel about it.
No, I agree with you, Marlon, because I remember that gig Friday night. We were we weren't completely on our game because all the changes we had to make. And then Saturday he bumped us to basically opening, and we decided, hey, we're going to go out there and be better than this other band. And I think we were. I think we blew them away. And I think that's what's the beauty of this band is everybody's talented. Everybody works hard. I never have to worry about people showing up to practice not knowing their stuff. I mean, this band has such a great work ethic. It's unbelievable, and that's why I think we've been able to do this for 7 years.
Yeah. How's go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I think we're all kind of perfectionists at what we do. We don't want to look bad on stage, so we get, we know our stuff. We learn our stuff. We're prepared for practice, and
get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
With the COVID stuff going on, and how would you all say, how are you individually dealing with this as with respect to the music and the band and all that? What do y'all say about that? How are you dealing with all this as a performing band?
Well, right now, since we can't play live, it's just, I hate that. I'm missing that so much. And
my heart's absolutely broken.
Yeah. I'm trying to, still listen to what we do. And by the way, Lady Gaga new album came out, so we've been listening to that a lot, and it's really good. So we're excited about that. I'm looking forward to playing again. I don't know when it'll be. I mean, we still have stuff on the books I'm hoping we can keep. So I'm just,
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've lost a few shows like every other band, and you know, hopefully going to reschedule and go from there. And we've still got some really big shows coming up that I hope that we can keep. So that's, you know, it has been kind of a knock on the band now, and it's a bummer. You know, it's like Sarah said, it's kind of trying to figure out ways to keep motivated during this downtime.
yeah, Sean and I, we try to practice together when we can, especially at the old apartment. And then we're looking forward to getting together with you guys again pretty soon. And maybe next month I can try to get back with Ryan and the dancers too. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, Sarah, on that note, to say again the names of the dancers. Let's talk about the dancers for a second and
Okay,
their
we've got
background.
Ryan Estep, Abram.
He goes by Zane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Alex, he goes by Angel, right?
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
we've got 3 male dancers.
Yeah.
And their history of dancing, what are they they perform somewhere else, right?
Yeah, they're
know.
the house dancers for Missy B's, and so they do a lot of what do they call it, cabaret, or I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
And I think Zane is classically trained as a dancer, and the other two just kind of have learned. And that's what's amazing about Ryan is his ability to choreograph this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's not really classically trained as a dancer, so it's
amazing.
It's pretty impressive, yeah.
And Zane's done a really good job at some choreography as well. But he's, yeah, I don't know if he actually has put choreography together before, but he did a good job with like Bad Romance. I think he's working on Telephone, but I think Bad Romance is the only one he's done.
Yeah.
Ryan's done all the other ones. But.
Yeah, and the idea for us is to incorporate them and to make it a much bigger production. And so when they start with us, they'll probably do about half the show with us, you know, and then work their way into where they're doing the entire show. So it's going to evolve into more of almost like a theatrical production.
Sarah, would it be safe to say that your performance has become now more physical, that you're more involved in the dance routines, right?
Yeah.
What have you been doing to prepare for that change, that evolution?
Well, I mean, I always work out. I mean, I'm still, you know, try to stay in shape. And the older I get, the harder it is. But actually, the dancing, well, the working out helps me to be able to do the dancing. And I feel like, even though I've never done any dancing, that it's natural for me, which is, I think, why I can catch on to some of these moves pretty quickly. So, and I don't have to do all of them. I mean, I feel like I want to do all of it, but I can't, and I can't sing and dance all of it. So I try to just pick and choose what I can do. And, you know, if I'm running out of breath, okay, I got to do something else or not do that move, or, you know, just kind of figure it out as I go. But it's fun to learn, and I enjoy it a lot.
When it's for fans that ask, well, when are we going to get a chance to see the bass player get in the dance routine? Is that
I'm working on it.
Is that in the future?
Hey, you're right there with me, buddy. We got to flank.
No, Tyson. People don't know that, you know, you can do an excellent James Brown. They just don't know that you can do flicks.
I don't know about all that
with the bass.
Hey, he dances all the time while he's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't help but move. That's for sure. And
maybe you need to talk about the Men in Black.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let Tyson talk about that. Tyson, what's some of the outfits and some of the concepts that you and and Sean are in the back?
Oh, well, conceptually, we kind of landed on these suits. We do get called the Men in Black all the time because we're just strolling around the casinos with these suits on and sunglasses. But that's a lot of fun for me, man. I mean, suit, I don't know how we fell on that. How did we fall? I think casino was just acceptable and just an easy outfit to throw on and be accepted.
You wanted to be dressed up, and you guys, I think, ended up just doing the same thing with the ties and the sunglasses. And
yeah, which I think it totally works. It has worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that it's also it's in my mind. I pretend in my head that we're also the Secret Service for Sarah since she's out front.
I like that. I like
Right.
it.
And we've
What
had.
happened to you when the guy jumped on stage at Pride? Where were you?
Hear that, Sarah?
Where's my Secret Service then?
Oh, he was on guard because I was on guard too. I was ready to pounce.
Yeah.
You should have hit him over
Sarah,
the head with your guitar, Marlon.
Well, and Marlon has an alter ego as well. He has the hoodie yet. Breaks out for the Gaga set.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one.
This was a concept that if the COVID hadn't come up and we was going to do our next concert, outdoor concert, I was going to introduce this for Sarah to put this helmet on so that when she's ready to jump out into the audience, she didn't have to worry about having any kind of head injuries or anything. But that might change. The COVID thing might change everything, Sarah, because if you try to jump out there now, they might scatter. You might land on the ground. So we still may come back to this.
Yeah.
I should have.
We're all going to have to wear masks.
Ryan actually got me, and I don't know if you've seen the video of Stupid Love, but Lady Gaga's, do you have it?
Yeah.
This is awesome, because Lady Gaga wears that full face mask, you know?
That's right. What did he do? Mail it to you?
Well, it was before all this hit, and we were still practicing, and he
Oh, wow.
got one for me. And he wants me to wear it on Poker Face, but I'm thinking it would really work on Stupid Love, and it might work for all the songs right now.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds and how we commence.
I mean, I feel like we as a band need to know we're safe too, because you know, what are they doing? What is the venue doing to make sure everybody there is safe? And if we don't feel that that's comfortable for us, then we gotta.
Well, we're going to be spending quite a bit of time. You know, you got to roll through sound check. You got to lug stuff in and out. I'm trying to watch my language and all that. So, I mean, you got to be safe doing that as well.
That's right, yeah.
Couldn't find it.
He's
putting it on.
You can wear your hat too.
Here we go. Unveiling.
Here we go. He's ready for COVID.
I'm ready.
I mean,
bring it on, baby.
You should rock that at the supermarket right now. Just roll up in the supermarket.
Oh, Sarah, that's cool, Sarah.
Well, you got to get the microphone up in there.
Yeah. Well, I did try it. This is kind of hard to do, though, but I did try it. I think I can make it work. But I always hit the same thing, you know, with my hand.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah, you have a number of costume changes. You have quite a few elaborate costumes. Can you tell us how did you go there? How do you get about finding your costumes? Did you contact Lady Gaga and ask her for some? Or oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. How did those come about?
I have someone.
She's got a contact.
So he's picking the costumes, or you say, I'm looking for this, go find that. Is Sean picking it?
There's been a couple things. It's kind of been a progression of like we found a lady on Facebook who actually makes costumes, and we went over to her house one time and bought a few things from her that she'd already made, but she said she could actually, I think, custom make something. I never had her do it though, but then we found like this boutique or whatever shop, what we call West Boutique.
West 25.
Yeah, West 25. And they had a lot of costumes that were blingy and things like that. But we went there one time and bought a bunch of outfits there. Then Ryan actually told us about AliExpress, and that's where I got a lot of my really, really nice ones that I just got recently. But yeah, we went through and kind of picked out what we were gonna buy. And
yeah, we do a lot of constantly looking for stuff online for the band, between costumes, equipment, things, little promotion materials. Yeah.
So let me ask Tyson, let me go back. We had we were wearing masks at one point. Let me hit that.
That's right.
What happened? What was that all about? If you can tell the viewers so they know what I'm talking about. Do you remember what you remember what we were trying to do? What we were trying to show?
You have more of the backstory on that. I mean, it wasn't an homage. It was an homage to your boy.
Do you remember it was Kill Bill? It was the Crazy
Kill
88.
Bill. Yeah. Yes, you got it.
It was Crazy 88.
But that came into play though for our Halloween gig though, right? Originally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to put together. Remember it all.
Yeah.
Well, we tried for a few gigs, and then we found out that the masks were not working. They were either slipping down on us so we couldn't see, or it looks better in movies, but in actuality, they're very difficult to wear.
Yeah.
I think it was the ones we have, and we should get back to getting some better ones.
Yeah,
that was a good look.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Well, let me ask one. I got two more questions to ask, and this first of the two is going to go to Sarah. Sarah, when you are in the Madonna character and the Lady Gaga character, how do you prepare for those? Do you actually have a metamorphosis from one personality to another? Explain to the viewer, how do you work that?
Well, I do. I just kind of get in. Okay, Madonna is one thing, and Gaga is, they're two different. But yeah, when I feel like when I'm in the Madonna set, I just kind of channel her energy. I feel I've seen a lot of her live stuff, and I try to mimic that as much as I can. I feel like with Madonna, it's more of a, I'm happy, I'm here, I love being on stage, and I'm having a good time kind of thing, but yet a strong woman too. You know what I mean? And then they're both strong women, but Gaga has more of a presence, I think. Like she doesn't have to smile. I mean, she can be like, attitude. So I feel like I have more attitude with Lady Gaga, and but I don't know. It's I feel like with both of them, I just kind of channel them. I've watched a lot of both of their live performances, and I just try to mimic what they do and how they sound and everything. So.
Yes, as the guitar player, I would say that when we're in Madonna, I really like playing both for different reasons. When we're inside Madonna, I can put more funk riffs into the guitar section and play. I was playing with two different guitars, a Fender Stratocaster that has more of a funk sound for Madonna, and some kind of humbucker pickup guitar for Lady Gaga, because that kind of rocks and roars, so for me, I adopt two personalities. When I'm playing Madonna, I'm thinking one way and I'm expressing one way on the guitar, and on Lady Gaga is totally different. Y'all may not know that, but I asked the question because I know how internally it is for me to prepare for both of those different roles, those two different individuals, and try to bring to that a personality coming from guitar. Sean, do you split up and think that, or
yeah? I'm the same way, because for me it's all about the different sounds, because I play an electric drum kit to try to get all these different sounds, and so every song I write a different set. And like the early Madonna stuff was drum machine, so I'm using those kind of sounds, and then later it was Tony Thompson playing like a version and all those, and so definitely the acoustic sound, trying to mimic that sound. And then Lady Gaga, it's kind of funny, I call myself the one-armed drummer when I'm playing her, because it's a lot of sampled drum loops, really. So it's like, I really just about the timing, trying to be right on the money. Yeah. So, yeah.
What about you, Ty?
For me, I just have fun watching you guys.
Whatever.
Yeah. And Tyson's like the best bass player in the world.
That's right.
No.
He does a great.
Yeah, people are always coming up to me saying, "I cannot believe the stuff your bass player's playing," and I'm like, "Yeah, he doesn't even realize how amazing it is."
I'm still learning. I'm a student.
Yeah.
So let me ask this. Oh, Sarah, you were going to say something. Let me hear. What were we going to
Well,
say?
for you, Marlon, I was going to say, I really like your balance between the Madonna and Gaga. I love, because Gaga doesn't have a lot of guitar. So, for the Madonna, you do what's there and it sounds great. And then Gaga, you improvise really well. And I really appreciate that, because, I listen to the songs all the time, but then I hear us play live and it's just kicking. I mean, you just, I love it.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that, because there should be mention of us basically making up parts for some of the stuff
right.
to make it work in a live setting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the Lady Gaga is really just mostly keyboards and vocals and drums, and so the stuff you guys come up with is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, when Sarah hands down these songs, some of these songs, and they don't have a guitar part, I'm really wearing a toupee because I've tore out all my hair. Trying to figure out, well, what about this one? What am I supposed to play in here?
You do a great job. I love it.
Yeah.
Everything you do.
Thank you, Sarah. As we come to a close of this interview, there's a question I like to ask all my guests, and I take this line from The Tale of Two Cities, and I know I'm taking it out of context, so Charles Dickinson, forgive me, but there's a line that for me, it says a lot about a journey. When someone's taking a journey, be it they're a race car driver, or they're a guitarist, or they're a singer, and they're an artist, and there's a journey. So the line, you may have heard this line before, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. So I'm going to go around the horn, starting with Sean. When I say that, what comes to your mind as you're relating to your career as a musician or our journey as a band? What comes to you?
Well, honestly, for me, this has just been the best of times, because I've never been in a band like this that was so in tune with each other and like a family, and I feel like it takes all four of us to pull it off, and I have never had that with a band. I've always had bands that had like a couple good players here and there, but no one would show up or whatever. And so I just did a whole blog about it, where I'd been in probably 15 bands over the last 30 years because of that. And so with this band, it's just unbelievable to me that everybody gets along. There are no worse times really, other than dealing with bad sound men, I think. That's really the only bad things that I feel like we've had to deal with. So that's, if that's the worst, that's it, for me.
Tyson.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say, through all of our different shows, we've had all these different circumstances that have blown up on us, and we've been able to endure through it and lean on each other and get through a lot of the stuff. Successfully so, and we keep getting asked back as well. So we're doing something right there too. We're not out there complaining when stuff goes bad either. We muscle through it and try to carry ourselves professionally and do the best we can considering the circumstances. But there's so many stories in there. Like we talked about the heated day at Kauffman Stadium. That was crazy. The infamous art show gig. I don't know, the dancers. We've gone through all that stuff, but there's a lot of best times, and could be considered worse, but we always made the best of it.
Sarah.
Well, I feel like as far as our journey, that we've really come a long way. I never thought that I could, because we started from the bottom and grew this, to where we are now. I've always, before been except for the Donnie band, and that didn't go anywhere. I just, even like with that band, we didn't know where to go. We didn't know how to get to another level, and we figured it out, especially him.
Yeah, that needs to be asterisk right there.
But I'm very grateful to have experienced this and am experiencing it with you guys. We've really done a good thing here, and we've really grown this. I couldn't have imagined. When we first started, we thought we'd play casinos and things like that. I thought, well, we'll see, because I tried that before, and I didn't know how to get there, and we got there. So
yeah.
So I want to thank
Hey, wait a
Sean,
minute. You got to tell us
Sarah.
your best and worst.
Oh, there you are. He's trying to get out the door.
Don't forget about
Okay.
you.
I haven't thought about that one for myself, but I'll say this: the crowds. We've had some amazing crowds that we played for.
Yes.
That's worth everything when we know that people are really digging us. And the meals that we sit down together and eat together for dinner and rushing and wolfing it down and hurry up running to get on stage. That's right, being bloated. So, oh Lord. The breakfasts after we've had a killer night.
Yeah.
Getting up early in the morning and having breakfast together before we get on the road, and that concludes the performance. To me, I look forward to the times when we can't do breakfasts. The worst of times was, okay, so we had the heat. We were in hell playing at the stadium on a hot 10 stage. The other hand of it, Sarah, was we were somewhere in Iowa and we had to stay at an Amish hotel
with no heat.
minus 34 with no heat.
That's when we were roommates, Marlon. That's when we were roommates.
That's right. Until we were roommates. We came in, I guess we were playing and we got in early the next morning to get ready to go to bed or something like that. And the heat was cut off and they brought these space heaters in there. That was the worst of times. I want to tell the Amish community that, okay, we got the picture. We understand that there's no heat, no electricity. But when we come to town, we kind of need you to do, step up a little bit, look the other way, turn the switches on for us, and we'll be gone.
Yeah. I guess part of the worst of times is the 10-hour drives too.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Some of the drives are tough.
Wrapped up into that is Marlon and I have had some pretty great conversation going on.
Great.
As you're driving past the exits.
Yeah. That's why we miss the exits.
That's right.
Yeah. I'll be there in an hour. We drove past the exit.
We're on our own journey, man.
Sarah, I look forward to the gig where we're all crowded in one van.
Yeah.
And I know what's going to happen. We're going to end up missing exits because we're going to start laughing going down the road. I look forward to that. That's the gig I look forward to, when we all can get in one place together and ride down the road. That's my fingers crossed on that one. Okay, so my guest today was Material Girl and Fame Monster tribute band. We are a family, and I want to share that. I appreciate you all, Sean, Sarah, Tyson, coming on with me and sharing our experiences for those who are also seeking to set up bands and get out there and work. And I hope that they can get something from what we've said today and the things that we're doing. Sean, real quick, somebody wants to find us, somebody wants to book us, how do they get in touch with us?
www.materialgirllive.com, and we're also on Facebook, Material Girl Live.
We do accept gigs internationally, by the way. So if you want to book us after COVID, we will go international. Let us know.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, thank you for watching. Welcome. My name is Marlon Bankston. We appreciate you looking in on us. Come to another episode. Check us out again. Talk to you later.
Baby